Hello guys, welcome to this section on problem solving tools applied. One of the main tools that is used in problem solving is the brainstorming. This is going to be covered fully in the next lecture, which considers first the general aspects of the brainstorming, and then it will look at the brainstorming in the context of the production stage, followed by the exploitation stage. Okay, the brainstorm. As you can see, the name itself contains two key elements, brain and storm. So we storm the brain with a view of generating ideas. That could be done by yourself, or it could be done between members of your group. I think it will have more results when it is done with other people, because the momentum is higher, faster, and so more ideas are created. Okay, let us look at the brainstorming in the production stage. First, the topic. We identify the topic that we need to brainstorm. Then we would like to introduce here some of the rules and also identify the objectives of the brainstorming session. These are in this column. The objectives are to create the maximum number of ideas around the topic in the shortest possible time, though. So for this, we need to encourage people in the group and let it all be said with a view of generating the maximum ideas and letting the maximum ideas emerge. As a main rule, do not criticize others as the ideas are coming out from different directions. No one is allowed to criticize the other. Okay, so let us look then at the different actors within the group session. The facilitator. His or her tasks are to note down all the ideas on a wall chart, for example. Ensure that the rules are respected and that everyone is involved. You must make sure that everybody in the room participates actively. And then at the end of the idea creation exercise, you need to group and categorize similar ideas with the participants' help. So that summarizes the facilitator's task. What not to do. You must not make judgment. You or the elements of the group must not make judgment on expressed ideas. You must not halt brainstorming before the participants have finished expressing their ideas. In other words, don't catch them short. Let it flow till the end. What the participants' task is. First of all, you must not criticize other participants' ideas, because if you do, you hold them back and you do not get the full effect of the brainstorming. Do not copy their ideas. That is said, you can complement them, you can develop them, you can add value to them. That gives us then a complete perspective on the production stage of the brainstorming. Now, let us look at the brainstorming under the exploitation stage. That is, the brainstorming is complete. How we are going to proceed from there. The topic is identified. Ideas have been generated. So we need to analyze and study further the suggestions and ideas that have been gathered. That analysis is better evaluated. That is, we evaluate the ideas and the suggestions according to the objectives in hand, because ideas can be generated, but they can divert out of the vision of the brainstorming, of the objectives of the brainstorming as it has been set out before starting. This evaluation is followed by a classification stage. That is, take all these ideas that have been evaluated and that respond to the objectives, classify them by category. So whatever has been retained in terms of ideas should be classified into different categories. What have we learned? We have learned quite a lot about the brainstorming as a tool of problem solving. We have covered it in its general context, in its production stage, and its exploitation stage. We have clearly underlined that it can be used as a tool to generate ideas by an individual, or it can be used between members of a team to generate ideas and suggestions with a view of solving problems. We looked at the production stage and have clearly identified that we need to start off with a topic that can and should be brainstormed. We've set ourselves some rules that must be followed by all during the brainstorming stage. Objectives need to be set out so that all the ideas that have been gathered should fall within those objectives eventually, especially at the later stage. Every brainstorming must have a facilitator. Its tasks have been identified. What not to do is being clearly marked so that each one of us knows what to do during the brainstorming and what not to do. The participants' tasks and how they should behave during the production stage. Then we moved on to the exploitation stage, which is to exploit the results that have been identified in terms of ideas and suggestions in the production stage. An analysis is applied to those results. An evaluation is carried out with the objectives in hand so that all the suggestions that could be retained are within our objectives. And finally, a classification is required so that the ideas are put in some order.